Did you know that on average, Australians spent a whopping $143.54 a month for fueling up their rides in 2017? With such a huge chunk of Aussies' budget going towards fuel, it should no longer come as a surprise that more of them now change gears in an electric car. The same goes for farm owners, many of whom now rely on electric utility vehicles. In this video, we'll go over how these electricity-powered machines can cut your vehicle operation costs. Electric utility vehicles. To understand how an electric utility vehicle can bring your farm, nursery, or vineyard operating costs down, let's talk about electric vehicles first. These vehicles run on electricity contained in a battery pack. The battery supplies power to the electric motor, which then allows the driver to turn the wheels. When it runs out of juice, drivers need to recharge the battery through a wall socket or a specific charging unit. These machines don't need any type of petrol, no gasoline, no diesel. They only require electricity to bring their passengers from point A to point B and back. This alone should already give you a picture of the savings you can get. Fuel versus energy costs. The national average price of 1 liter of gas is $1.51. If your day-to-day driving distance is 50 kilometers, that means you spend about $8 a day on fuel alone. So imagine not having to rely on gasoline or diesel to go about your farming chores. Without the need for fuel, you can already see how many hundreds of dollars you can save with an electric utility vehicle. But how do you calculate the cost of operating an EUV if it doesn't use fuel? You need to factor in where exactly you are in Australia for electricity rates, and how far the vehicle's battery can take you. On average, you'd need to use about 18 kilowatt hours of energy to cover 100 kilometers. Now multiply this by 33 cents, the nationwide average electricity rate per kilowatt hour. This means that it'll take you less than $6 to travel 100 kilometers. Now compare this with the nearly $16 you'd have to spend to cover the same distance on gasoline or diesel. That's almost $1,200 of savings every year. Battery life. You need to factor in battery life when calculating the costs of operating EUVs. Fortunately, nowadays you'll find EVs, including EUVs, to have a greater range in between charges. There are also tricks to maximize EV battery life. Let's take the Nissan Leaf battery electric vehicle, BEV, as an example. This one has a 24 kilowatt hour battery that can cover 170 kilometers. If we follow the above cited example, driving 50 kilometers a day, this means you have about 3 days and a half before you need to recharge. In other words, you most likely only need to recharge once a week. Money and environment. Battery electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles have much less impact on the environment, especially BEVs, which don't generate tailpipe pollution. This, plus using renewable energy sources like solar, makes electric vehicles almost emission-free. Make the switch. More and more farm, nursery, orchard, and vineyard owners now recognize the huge benefits of switching to electric utility vehicles. Many of them want to lessen their dependence on fuel, not only because they can save money by doing so, but also because they know of the toll it has on the environment. All these should already push you to become an EUV owner as soon as possible. You may not see the savings right away, but you will in the long term. If you want to know more about electric vehicles and the good they can do, make sure you head to our blog. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.